Hey, welcome to the Blackout Tips podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
And we're live on a Saturday, ready to do feedback. That's what that means. Every Saturday, we do a feedback show. That's all about the things that you had to say. This is your chance to be heard. Leave us voicemails, leave us emails, vote in the polls, leave comments on our website, YouTube comments. We're everywhere. We're reading it all. And we're making sure that your voice is heard because you're part of this program too. The official weapon of the show is
the taser.
An unofficial.
Oh, shit.
Oh, son of a. Oh, my God.
I had my streak going. Folding chair.
Oh.
It is the folding chair.
Continue my routine. I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. How dare you?
I'm sorry to let y'all down. That's why I have to. If I don't pause and think, y'all like on autopilot. I am so sorry.
Oh, girl, baby girl.
Oh no! I get my own. Oh no! That's hilarious.
But yeah, you can find us all the places you find podcasts. Search the Blackout Tips. Programming note. Premium shows are out. We've done 2 new movie reviews in the spoiled movie review feed. For your premium people, they're out. Hot Frosty, and we saw Craven, so you don't have to.
So you don't have to.
We also did Balls Deep, the pregame yesterday with Justin. That was fun. We also have live tickets for sale. The link is in your show notes. Ticket sales are starting to tick up. A lot of we made 50 tickets available for the VIP, which includes like a meet and greet and a poster with us. Well, those tickets are going fast. They're going actually faster than regular tickets as of right now. We also now have virtual tickets. So if you can't be there live, but you still want to see the show via social media through Zoom, they'll have cameras set up, multi-camera set up. We worked with them in the past. It's always been a good time.
It has.
There's a chat room. Everybody is kind of being in community without being physically there.
Right.
That's available to people too.
Yes.
And also there are people who are like literally buying tickets for other folks to be like, hey, I want to buy these tickets and I would like to gift them to someone. Right. If that is something you would like to do, that's not a problem. Just you buy the tickets. They're going to send you a link to some PDF files about a week before the show. You would forward that email to us. We don't need the email that you bought your tickets or any of that. Until they send you that PDF file, I can't transfer it to somebody who might need tickets.
Right.
So yeah, that's I think most of the programming notes for now. And then of course that live show is February 28th. In addition to that, I'm going to be at the Rialto. I don't know. I'm going to be in Raleigh, Durham area with Bomani Jones. He's doing a thing called the Basketball Jones, and he's going to have a lot of like guests there, and I'm going to be one of them, and you can get tickets to that as well. I will look on his social media feed for links to the tickets. But that's going to be like the end of January, right before the day before the Carolina plays Chapel Hill. So it's going to be a fun time, and just, getting y'all shouting y'all out, letting y'all know where these opportunities exist. All right, let's get into the show. There are people who gave us money. They donate to the show, and we get them some love.
May I have your attention? You are now listening to Charlotte's Own with Rod and Karen. We welcome the good folks who tie to the Blackout Tips.
All right, new money, hey honey, how you doing? I'm running out, guys. Tiffany B, Alfonso M, we got, let's see, this is YR Design is what it says here, so I'm assuming that's something. Thank you for the recurring donation. Palmetto Stone Magic, Jasmine J, James C, David C, Okay, the C family is here because Anya C is with them. Anya C, have a seat. Okay, we love to see families coming together. And lastly, Dr. Professor Bambi. That's everybody. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of change on us. Okay, we appreciate that. We know you didn't have to do it, but in this economy, but we thank you. 5-star reviews. We got some.
Yay!
Yep, I believe we got two new ones. The first is a must listen and a great historical archive. 5 stars.
Oh shit!
By Terry
historical archive. What is we historian about?
This podcast is a cornucopia of joy. Okay, cornucopia. I see you.
That's my
right after Thanksgiving too. Okay, the Kwanzaa cornucopia. I see. I pick up what you're putting down. A cornucopia of joy, content, and Black cultural history. This podcast is a wonderful archive of Black pop culture. Do yourself a favor and listen. That is true. I didn't think about it this way, but you're right. Absolutely right. Over the last 14, 15, 16 years, however long we've been doing this, you could at any point randomly pick an episode or on purpose pick an episode, and whatever Black people and pop culture thing was going on, we probably were talking about it.
Yes, we were. No matter what it is.
Yeah. Like, I'm sure just even if it was in passing or whatever, for the most part, if something was happening and Black people gave a fuck, we was here.
Yes, we were. We've been on the scenes like Eyewitness News.
Yeah, so I guess we kind of are a historical archive. And the last 5-star review is from Kappa Square 7, who says, best in the business, 5 stars. Rod and Karen are the absolute GOAT of podcasts. Fight me. Exactly.
Not fight me.
Our fans are willing to die for this shit. They give a balanced approach to life, politics, and current events. If you are looking for a show that gives you edutainment, welcome home. Thank you. Edutainment. That's an old school word. That's back when like rappers used to say that shit because they couldn't make radio hits. Like it's like, that's because I'm making edutainment. It don't got to be number one, brother. Like, I don't know. It's still played on the same radio as 2 Live Crew, and they killing you right now.
Yes, they are.
But yeah, make sure you guys do all of that stuff. Leave us 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. You can do it from a computer now. You don't actually need to have a login.
So you not Apple users, you ain't got no excuse. I want my 5 stars.
Even Mr. Span has left us 5-star reviews,
and that's saying something.
And that mean that brother fuck with us.
Okay? He fuck with us, don't he?
Okay, I've seen what he's had to say about Apple, and he wouldn't touch them unless he had to.
Right?
So thank you.
He was like, I don't have to. So we thank you. If Mr. Span has a seal of approval, child, you ain't got no excuse.
All right, let's get to these episodes that we did this week. 3018, the Republican Globetrotters, 7 comments. It was a feedback show, of course. Apia says, I did really accomplish my goal. I have a Black friend now, thanks to Blackout Tips. I will still stay here for the good content, and maybe someday make even a second Black friend. Who knows? Whoa, buddy, don't get out of control.
Pushing those numbers kind of hard, ain't you?
Getting addicted. You know what they say about friends?
Can't get rid of us pretty soon.
You know what they say about friends? Once you go Black, you can't go back. I hope more listeners will meet. If I can make it from another continent, I see great possibilities for you Americans. It's really fun. Ronan Raphael says, did any of you catch the family of the American freelance journalist held in Syria after their week meeting at the White House? They were taking shots at Biden, which at first I was like, I kind of get. They're frustrated. Then the mom says Trump loved her son during his first term. Doesn't it add anything about what or how if he bothered to bring her son home? If it's Joe Biden that's been terrible, right there is registered that the person who got them proof of their son being alive equal trash, but the one who said I love your son does nada equal great. That's how I see folks complaining about Hunter's pardon. Welcome to all the new premium members. I got a super discount just for you. Don't listen to Rod's propaganda against middle name bearers. Once your third eye has been opened by my sister Karen, you'll see past Rod's attempt to sell this sleek move. Open thy third eye from my Kemetic brethren. There's a trip to Africa on air. TBGWT soon. Focus alert, everyone. Play the welcome music, Rod. For the record, Ronan Raphael has no affiliation with this podcast and any I would
Your own risk, y'all.
I would actually advise against any
Me
business
too.
dealings.
I
I don't
say
care if he says,
no.
"Let me borrow a quarter for the payphone."
Say
Payphones don't
no.
exist anymore,
Mm-mm.
so he's lying to you right there. Don't do it. So there's no error TBGWT, and please don't believe that. Sean says Nixon was preemptively pardoned, and here's the list. Also, there are rumors that Biden is considering preemptive pardons. Also, you write 10K reasonable pardons on one day, and Hunter's in there. The news would ignore everyone but Hunter. Yeah, and he actually went and did some more pardons. The biggest single day pardoning of people ever. He did that just this week.
They ignoring the shit out of it.
Well, it's actually worse than that in my opinion. One, it's not like they went, oh, okay, well that makes the Hunter pardon okay. So everyone who floated that, now you know you can suck my dick, because I told you that it wouldn't matter. It did just, if we're gonna, I guess I'm at a point now where I'm fed up with people's inability to just be real.
Right.
Because I feel like, if nothing else, what I am taking out of 2024 is, oh, okay, so we could just be real. And that's it. Like, because I don't really understand what him and Howard and giving all this cover to these people is helping. It hasn't helped. It hasn't helped to be very nice about it. Hasn't. And I'm not even saying you gotta be mean. I'm just saying let's just be truthful with each other.
Right.
I don't really want the excuses and the 50-50s. But yeah, anyway, the Nixon pardon, I think, stands in a completely different category, as he was the president, and it was unprecedented, and to this day it is still extremely controversial. So thank you, Sean, because that's a great technical point, but I would not consider the Nixon pardon as a, like, oh yeah, that's what people do, you know. And like I said, I think preemptively pardoning someone who isn't even under investigation, like say Hillary Clinton, I don't even know if that holds up, or how that holds up, or what that holds up. I don't even know what an incoming Republican administration would charge people that they consider enemies with. I'm not even sure it's something because it's not you say I pardon them against any and all conceivable offenses that they do for the rest of their life, right? So I don't even know what you do with that. But like I said, if any of this stuff, including the people that like James Clyburn who are floating, we should pardon Trump as well. All of this stuff to me is just some sort of bargaining they're doing internally, and they're letting come out of their mouths. Nothing's going to stop Donald Trump from doing what the fuck he want to do.
That's true.
And he will never feel like, I need to do this to be fair. Well, hey, you know what? I wasn't going to do this, but then Joe Biden did a thing, so now I'm going to do it. I think we just need to stop entertaining that line of thinking.
I 100% agree, and I'm with you about being truthful. Donald Trump's going to do whatever the fuck Donald Trump is going to do. He has literally told you. And the thing is, I believe that man. It's a lot of motherfuckers still out here going, well, it can't be that bad. He really... No, I believe him. So a lot of people are lying to themselves. They're being disingenuous with themselves. And they're giving him excuses. And then when he comes in, he does worse. They're going to be shocked and or surprised. And he probably can do things that surprise people that always going to be bad. Like you just never know how low he can go. But I believe he's going to do the shit he's going to do. You're the one in denial, and you're the reason why we have to keep going back and forth I don't want to do that anymore. You are wasting everyone's time.
Yep. All right. Michael says, whenever the feedback show hits my feed, I check the timestamp. You two are the goats of these 2 to 3 hour episodes. I am one of the listeners who did hear Karen say something that implied she was a member of the LGBTQ plus community. I figured Karen just misspoke since I've been listening to the show for years, but I know as members of the queer community are always wanting to fan cast those we love from media as members of the community. So the comment last week didn't surprise me. That said, I really appreciated both of your responses. It doesn't matter if you're queer yourselves, you stand with the community.
Right.
As a white, queer, and trans person, I always nod along when you talk about the struggle for my rights being intertwined with the struggle for black rights in this country. Thanks for all you do. Thank you, Michael. And yeah, I must have missed whatever it was or not picked up on it. But yeah, I think it's important that we are letting people know, like, no, we're not queer people. not that obviously that's a bad thing, but just to be accurate, we're not necessarily queer people, but that should not stop you from being educated on issues and advocating for people. People are still part of the community, whether they're queer or not. And I just feel like too much of, I mean, I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I mean, I don't want to tell people to get out of their lane. There's a lot of people that honestly don't have the bandwidth or ability or care and concern to be even talking about these issues. And I'm not even saying that like, cause I'm gonna always get it right. I'm not perfect, and this conversation is always changing. The landscape is changing. The words are changing. Iconography is changing. So there's gonna be things that I'm gonna look back and go, oh, we didn't know the best words for it then, or whatever, or I evolved on this, or whatever the fuck that is. I just think too many people are afraid to stand and say like, no, this is my community too, and whether the rights of someone should not be affected by how much like me they are. Right. Like it shouldn't be like, well, black people, I understand they need freedom. Trans people, I don't get. I don't understand that line of thinking. I think a lot of people are very limited, and not to get too hippy dippy about it, but I think the only way out of this cycle that we're in America, where it's like progress and a bunch of hard regression and reset, and then a little bit of progress and back and forth, it's going to be radical empathy, in that people are going to have to accept that there have some commonalities in struggles with people, and stop trying to make it a pissing contest, and instead just be like, what's being done to you isn't right, and therefore I care. Like it's not necessarily about reciprocating. It's not an alliance that is formed on you do for me, I do for you. It's not even really about that. I would even say it's not really even about community. Sometimes right and wrong is just seeing that some shit is wrong. And right. Like, that should not be happening. What do I need to say or do or whatever that's going to help that not happen? It's very sad that people are so selfish, but I guess that's human too.
Yeah, that is very human too. And it's also, one of the things where there's a lot of things, and the biggest reason why I understand a lot of things, and it's not that I completely understand or 100% understand, but I do understand oppression. like that part I get. And when you work in the humanity of that oppression, and that there are people on the other side of that oppression that are being impacted and or affected, it ain't right. It doesn't matter if they look like you, like it does not matter. But so many people, like you say, it is a who is the most oppressed contest, and I don't give a damn about who's the most oppressed. It's oppression happening to everyone. The purpose is to stop the oppression, because the oppressor is not going to stop. So, it's like, hey, it's more of us than them, but people don't want to look at that because numbers matter, and people act like numbers don't matter. Numbers matter. Maths.
Yeah, I think about how it's so, I made the assumption, kind of just innately, that people who live under oppression understand oppression. And I think what I've realized as I've gotten older is that many people live under oppression but do not understand it. They don't study it, and they don't think of it bigger than themselves and what it inhibits in their lives. And that's part of the nature of oppression, is to keep you fighting and small and thinking about every hurdle you need to jump over. And so you don't notice that everyone on the track is jumping over hurdles. You may even resent those who have a few less hurdles than you, rather than the idea of who's putting these hurdles up that's impeding all of our progress.
Right.
And I think that's something I really just came to see lately, is like when I see a black person who can't understand the struggle of an immigrant, when I see an immigrant who can't understand the struggle of a black person in America, when I see someone who's gay, who's racist, someone who's black, but homophobic, those people all live under oppression of their own, but that does not mean that they understand it. And I think operating from there is a place where I have lower expectations of people, but I'm able to understand people a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Shoe Booty says, if my Spotify Wrapped had Drake as number one in this year of our Lord 2024, I would simply be quiet about it and say I don't use Spotify. That's what I think happened. That's why I said, like, online, I feel like people that had Drake all throughout they rap was like
They didn't
just not sharing it. And
I
so it
agree.
seemed like everybody had Kendrick all over the place because everybody's okay with sharing that this year, but nobody want to be around Certified Lover Boy. Mature young lady says, the older I've gotten, the less enjoyable holidays have been. It's the pressure that I put on myself to make sure my loved ones have something nice. This year has sucked and I haven't been able to go all out like usual. I hear you on that, but let me tell you something, man. Not to get all Christmas spirit on you, but when I tell you at the end of the day, you could get people nothing, and if they fuck with you, it don't matter.
No, it don't.
All of us understand. All of us have gone through ups and downs. People lose jobs. People have bills.
Right. People money.
All kinds of stuff happen. You know, some year you just ain't in that spirit or whatever. But I feel like this time of year, it's not about what you got in your hand when you come see me. Maybe when you're a real little kid and you just don't understand how things work in life.
Agreed.
But you know, it's not about the present, the gift necessarily. It really is about that hippie shit of the gift of us being around each other and sharing love and community. And I think you have to get out of that headspace because, you know, I think it comes from something else normally, like that level of almost like an insecurity of like, oh, it's Christmas, I need to be like with gift in hand.
Capitalism.
Yeah, it's definitely that too. But like even under capitalism, there's certain people that just kind of you understand. But it's like, yeah, it's cool. I can get no gifts, but we gonna eat this chicken or whatever. I just think it comes from somewhere, and I just say, in your head, you start thinking like other people are clocking me and being like, oh, you got so and so a present, but not me. Oh, you got, oh, you spent this much on them, but not that. There might be some people like that. There may be.
Yeah, some people.
But in general, the vast majority of people are not like that. Kind-hearted, good people are definitely not like that. And I think if you show up with not a single gift to give, I feel like people still gonna love seeing you and your energy and you being around. So I speak to that as a person that has anxiety of my own and has done like over performative stuff in my past. That it don't matter if you stop doing it today and say I'm never doing it for the rest of my life. People still gonna put a smile on their face when they get that phone call or they see you come through the door, because the holidays are just, you know, it's more about the time and the effort to be together.
You know what? Yes. And as I've gotten older, all jokes aside, as an adult, you go up and down. I can speak for myself. I go up and down and all around over the years about Christmas, you know, about the holidays and how I feel about them. And as you get older, you're an adult, so you can redefine and define what your definitions of these things are. And sometimes that means you don't have to follow whatever the tradition is. You can create your own tradition. You literally can if you choose to and you opt to. You know, you can be like, hey, I ain't got it this year, so I spend it. If I don't, I don't, you know, and like and sometimes that's very hard for people to do because they feel pressure from family and friends and loved ones, people looking at them, and capitalism, and you know, they feel I got to go in debt and all these different things. But baby, if you ain't got it, you just ain't got it, and that's okay. And the older you get, you'll realize what's more precious and what people remember more is the time you spent with them while they were here than the gift. They remember the laughing. They remember like when people pass and people talk about at their funerals and they repass and stuff, the memories they bring up most of the time is about situations and incidents and things like that. It is rarely about they gave me a gift. And so I do 100% agree with you, Roger. For me, as I've gotten older, I realized the thing is the time. I just enjoy sitting and laughing and eating and joking and smiling and being around, being loved and being around people that I love. To me, that's very, very important about the holidays for me, you know. And like I say, you can navigate this how you want to, but this is just kind of my perspective. And once I started doing that, it took that pressure off. I didn't feel that internal pressure, that ticking clock, that I got to get this, I got to get this, I got it on list, I got to buy people this, how do you feel about the holidays? Oh, I'm just glad it's over. And then, you know, January, February, you're paying your bills down, your credit card bills is sky high when you actually should have been putting that money towards other things, if your money just wasn't there at the time. And so, that's kind of how I navigated. And I realized that, the time of the year is much more enjoyable. And it's more, for me, it was more freeing.
EVE says, I'm not ready for the holidays. It feels like it just turned 2024 and here we are about to enter a new year. I feel like the older we get, the faster time seems to go. Well, that would make sense. The longer you've been alive, the smaller a fraction of time each day is, mathematically, and your perception of it can only perceive how much you've already experienced in life with being alive. So
and as a kid, shit drags. You're like, what?
But that's because once again, you've not experienced much time, so all time that is happening feels longer.
That's true. True.
But anyway, not to get too deep on it. Let's see the comments for YouTube. Let's see what we got here. Make sure I'm viewing them all. Okay, here we go. Goodwill Blurting says, hey, Rod and Miss Karen. Rod, great sports analogy. The election has been an eye-opening event, giving a window into the real content of people's character. As Carter says, love you guys and I love your show, as you all see fit to do it. I understand some of these people are just trying to show Karen appreciation because, yes, Karen, you are me in so many ways. But stop telling these people 3,000 plus shows into what they need to change. Karen and Rod know what works for them. Sit back and enjoy the show. I think that's in response to the person that wanted you to read some articles. Shorty P says, regarding Biden's pardons, exactly. Name them because I've read a lot of ridiculousness. Yes, Biden pardoned 6,500 low-level drug offenders. Yeah, and we'll get to it later in the week, but he also just pardoned more people. And I look, I hope he does the preemptive pardons that people want. Like, I'm not saying it is unusual. Like, people will say it's not unusual. That's not true. We've only had is Nixon. I forget. There's like another more recent one that got a preemptive pardon. Then there's the Confederate soldiers, which I disagree with. They should not have preemptively pardoned them. And then it's the draft dodgers in the Vietnam. Jimmy Carter did that. So it's not some like every president, of course, preemptively pardons, but Trump is not a normal incoming president. And so if you want to preemptively pardon, give blanket pardons to some people that will probably be targeted by him, I welcome it. I would think it would be a great move. All I was saying was, to me, is not necessarily it would not make people go, oh, the Hunter pardon is okay. They will still act like that was wrong of him to do, even knowing that he did the same for others.
Right. And the thing about Trump that, like I said, is that denial thing. Trump has consistently did unprecedented shit. And when people do that, you have to act unprecedented towards them because, hey, you're hitting a new level, so we've got to hit a new level.
And while telling you he's gonna do it,
right?
So, like, how much of the problem with Trump has been people just not believing he's gonna do what he tells them they're gonna do? He's gonna do because they're like, oh, he wouldn't possibly, and he turned out to be wrong. It's like now we are paying the price.
Right, and it becomes very, very frustrating. Yes. Gotcha. Shit, jinx. It becomes very frustrating, very irritating when he's doing these things and people go, hey, he's doing extraordinary things, so we need to act extraordinary towards him, and everybody going, no, and I'm like, well, bitch, like you say, now we have to accept the consequences of us not responding beforehand.
Right. All right, look back to this. Every time Karen says right, I feel that in my soul, says Quiet Storm. J-Ho says the Globetrotter analogy really, really fits. Yeah, I should have submitted. I got to submit that to our peoples. Sorry, I got a little lazy this week, guys. Got behind. But yeah, thank you for the comments on YouTube. The poll was, are you ready for the holidays? Yes, no, or I don't celebrate the holidays. 46% say yes, 42% say no, 12% say I don't celebrate the holidays. All right, let's go into the next one, but I'm gonna play a beat in case we need to decide to make some money at some point. As I'm sitting here, I just realized I never uploaded the Chris Lambert episode to YouTube.
Oh no!
Son of a bitch! I knew something was bothering me all week, and I couldn't.
You couldn't put your finger on it.
I did everything else around the podcast, but that. Sorry, Chris. It'll be up.
It'll be up soon.
Yeah. God damn, boy.
Sorry, YouTube people.
Anyway, Pornhub Jacked was our next episode. We had 7 comments. Let's get to it. Apia says, I'm glad you enjoyed the 5K event and are now the ones doing Walkaganda. I think moving around on your feet always gives you a new perspective, and I always feel better afterwards in my body and my brain. And it's free. Just put on some comfortable clothes and you're all set. If an industry plant was really a thing, the industry would try to plant artists who are easy to control, have no demands or controversial views, appear to the masses, I think. That's how they get you, Apia. At this point, when we're hundreds of years of industry plants into the game, you don't insert somebody that everyone like just thinks like, oh, they only want good things. Nah, people are too cynical. You want to go with the person that's a bit of a hot rod to the point where we're like, how come? But if they're everywhere, they must be the best, right? Because how can Andrew Schultz be so controversial, but he's everywhere and everyone fucks with him? The second part of this is the views aren't actually controversial. They're the views that the status quo would like to be. Like, so if you were telling me, Rod, what would an industry plant look like in the industry and why would they be there? So obviously, and I'm not saying I believe this. This is just for those who do believe it, why is Andrew Schultz not the person you think is an industry plant is all I'm saying. Because think about it. What would you want your status quo views to be? Probably conservative points of view. That's what Andrew Schultz espouses. That's what makes him quote unquote controversial. Having Trump on his platform, picking on black people and people of different races and gay people and LGBTQ community. Those are not controversial views. Really, they're the status quo view being pushed from a person that seems to be a culture leader and also controversial. You know, it's just how do we think about controversy? Because I think in a world where Donald Trump won the popular opinion a poll of America called voting, I don't know that we get to say it's controversial anymore to have the views of these type of guys. Even Roomba the rapper, a vacuum who also raps, trademark. Enter Roomba the rapper. Okay, yeah. After his concert, he cleans up the mess that was created, goes to the loading station, chills out to the next gig. No controversy here ever. I do like Roomba the rapper. That's smart. You should trademark that. Don't get into a deal with Raphael about it.
No.
Okay.
You end up broke.
Do the deal by yourself. Make sure you get some German paperwork on it so that it's not that, because you don't know what Ronan Raphael gonna try to get you to sign something that he wrote down on a napkin. Don't do that shit.
This is a 360-degree deal. Don't sign it.
Right. He gonna own your kids by the end of it and shit.
Yes.
But you need to do that Roomba the rapper. Toys for Boys. We gonna sell it to him. Follow him for killer tracks like My Life is Trash, Circles, I Run on Electricity. Raphael, can we do this?
No, he got you. No.
Well, that
damn.
It was sad. She had
damn
for a little bit, but
we're trying to save you coins.
She's probably in jail now.
Ain't she though?
He probably hacked her account. He pretending to be her in the chat, but
this is him right now.
Erica says tickets secure. Some folks won't get gifts this year, but fuck it, I'm going to see Rod and Karen. Woo woo. Just last wasn't the last podcast she was like, hey, I don't get people gifts. I still feel terrible every Christmas. She like, well, fuck them gifts. Going to see my boobs.
And this is about me.
Listen, Erica. And I'm telling you, your presence is a present.
Ain't
Show up and they need to be excited that you showed up.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Also, fuck them kids. Okay. I don't know them. I know you.
We know you.
They ain't never met us in no Publix before. Ms. Barnes says, yep. If you see me host strolling, just know it's all in the name of tickets. It's a Rod and Karen show. Oh my, not on the stroll. You know what? I'll see you out there. I'm gonna mind my business. I'm not gonna bother you. Miss Barnes says, congratulations on your first 5K, Rod and Karen. Thank you. Sean says, congratulations on your 5K. In terms of walking and talking, the data does not suggest any natural gender or sex-based differences. Okay. Data from Star Trek. Sean coming in with the Vulcan. Sean got to be part Vulcan.
Yes.
The data does not suggest natural gender or sex differences.
Crush the numbers.
All right. In fact, Aristotle used to give lectures while walking around campus with his students walking in a line behind him. It is mainly an issue of breath control and getting accustomed to it. For example, when I was first leading Martial Excite, a martial arts style aerobics program, I had difficulty maintaining 100% effort while speaking and remembering to mirror, but it got easier over time. If you want to be able to walk and talk at the same time, just practice. That is the most literal response to a joke.
Trying to help you out, Rod. Rod, you can walk and talk.
I said women have a. You believe? I thought women have an extra lung. I don't think women have an extra lung.
You never know.
Oh my God. Sean, son of a bitch. I know you know what you're doing, Sean.
Chris.
I know you know what you're doing, you son of a bitch. The show's already 5 hours every Saturday. You got time for your trolling. He says Andrew Schultz is the ultimate dictum. Someone who plays a victim but is really a dick who caused the drama in the first place. Everything I've learned about this guy has been against my will, but I have heard clips of him calling other people victims, and now look at him whining over supposed death threats. Yep. He's like I said, show me what's controversial about his views. He's giving you the status quo piece of shit views that many people have, and somehow it's being platformed and co-signed by black people that call out other people. Someone wrote into our premium show and reminded me, and I'm so glad they did, how Van Lathan took Emmanuel Acho to task for his comments about like black women, Sha'Carri Richardson or whatever. And then his buddy Andrew Schultz does some wild shit, and now it's like he's never had to think about something like this before. Oh, I can't believe it. It's this dude, Andrew Schultz, seems to be a dick, and that seems to be his brand. You don't get to be a dick and be the person that's a victim while decrying everyone else being a victim. Like the idea of you being like, I said I was gonna rape somebody as a joke, and people are saying they're threatening me online. Well, maybe they're joking. You missed the controversy, remember? You think everything else got rules? You know what? If you scared for real, file a police report against them people. Take them to court. Stop trying to be the win public opinion over with this. I mean nothing, but also I mean everything at the same time bullshit. It's greedy. The second a troll gets the same energy back, they're always claiming they receive death threats, and I don't believe them. It's probably just people talking on the internet. He's a clown, and Charlemagne is a coon, along with the black woman who said that dramatic, oh my God, when Andrew was whining. I was like, sis, aren't you embarrassed? Yeah, I don't know her like that, but
I don't know nothing about her.
I have a personal belief. There's a certain type of podcast where a dude goes and gets a woman co-host, normally that they are not like it's a business relationship, meaning these are not like friends who started a podcast. So this is not a couple who started a podcast. These it's more like and I've been in the podcast game for a while, so I know some of this shit is like literally they do they do auditions, they have you work with the people, they bring people back, you're both getting paid, like it's a job.
Right.
And I think there's a certain type of brother, and it also goes for white men too, but since we're talking about this space, I think there's a certain type of brother that goes and gets him a sister on the show that she's just there for when I do say fucked up shit, she don't get offended and she won't check me because we're not equals. We're not sharing this platform. I'm her better.
Yes.
I'm her boss. My name's on the marquee. I own the company. You're here as an employee. If you leave, the show goes on without you. I'll find another black woman.
Yep, I can replace you in a heartbeat.
And I think there are certain brothers in the game who go get these black women, and it's not that these women aren't competent. It's not that I'm not even calling them coons. This is not disparaging them. They're there as the employee, not really the boss in many of these cases.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of have to play this game of you just said something fucked up, and my job is not to call you out, and we're not friends and we're not equal. And it always comes to a head. We always see it, and most of the time the women end up quitting. We've seen it many times with Joe Budden. We can't really keep women co-hosts in that chair very often because he always freaks out or crashes out at some point, and it just jumps out of him. And you're like, oh, that really is a woman. You kept taking arrows and slights and arrows until you so full of arrows now and no one respects you. I think it happens with Charlemagne a lot, where he's had the entire women podcast on his network, but they not really there to complete, like, it's not an equal relationship.
Right.
It's not really like I'm considering your opinion in that way. When it comes to certain topics. And so I think this happens all the time, and that might explain some of the silence from people that are like black women in the room while we're talking about black women being the ones who were targeted by this dude, and Charlemagne's changing the topic to Drake, and the woman is going, oh my God, but never giving her opinion.
Oh yeah, because her opinion don't matter.
Yeah, the oh my God is why she's there. So I like I said, I don't know what to make of people like that, because we've seen some people who are pretty intelligent and principled, but they took them jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And those are jobs in the industry that people need. So I like, I remember Howard Stern and Robin used to be like that to me, where I was like, she's just there so that when he says something racist, when he says something sexist, misogynistic, she's there to either like give a little bit of a, oh, bad boy type vibe, or to act like it's not a problem. And it's a special type of woman that can even have that role.
Right.
Like a lot of women, a lot of people that are marginalized, you can't even have the role because they're going to go too far one day and you're going to stand up for yourself or your people. And now you ain't got no job, because the job is not you checking them.
No, oh, no. Mm-mm. Yeah, you have to put your ego and all that shit to the side in order to even get the job.
Yeah. The comments, let's get to them on YouTube. Those are all of them on our site. People who love the dish can rarely take it, says Donatio. Miss Sewell says, proud of you guys completing your 5K. It was 60 degrees here last Sunday in Iowa. I actually got to walk, and at one point felt like running after 3 years, and actually did. Oh, that's dope.
Good for you.
Jazzy Sunflower says the Eric Adam commentary was spot on. Thank you. Shorty P1000 says, why do you want a mediation regarding an alleged criminal act? That said, criminal court is a higher bar than civil. There are photos of Jay being at a whole other after party. We'll see how this shakes out. Tony Busby's strategy is to make vague allegations to later add whomever he thinks fits the bill. Yeah, I mean, look, I have all the same questions as you, but at the same time, those questions will be answered as more stuff comes forward.
Mm-hmm.
And I never really like to harp on guilt or innocence of something like that, I mean, in the immediacy of it, unless the allegations are so preposterous that it's like, oh, this person's just crazy. So I can't even get into but what I will say is this. I think a lot of times, even when people are telling the truth and maybe they don't have all the evidence to back them, a lot of the times the reason you make these lawsuits and allegations is that if it is a pattern of behavior, other people who may also have the same, like, I don't know if I can prove my case, come forward. And if we were at Saturday today and Jay-Z had been accused of 7 more people, I feel like we'd all be like, ugh.
Yeah, that don't look good.
I don't know.
Right.
I think so. That's the reason I'm not going to just assume the worst of just the allegation, because I don't know these people and what they're capable of. But I have common sense, and it's the court of public opinion. My opinion isn't really law. It's not going to change anything. If I was on a jury and they started showing me other evidence that I wasn't privy to, I'd be willing to change my mind. But all that being said is, it's been a few days and more information has come out about this accuser, and it is not looking like, it's starting to look like there's some holes in the story, and we're gonna see if this even goes to trial or case. Because and like I said, I go into the drift with no allegiance, no loyalty. Just we'll see what the facts bear out.
We will see.
So we'll find out. All right, the next one is Calibra Mike says, my Pornhub Jack description would be triple crown, threesome, thruggle, compilation thumper. Your average watch time 6:22.
6:22.
Right. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Oh man, that Pornhub Jack would be telling some stories, man.
Yeah.
Just saying. And those would be results I think people would want to share, because I always feel like people share the not the PG version, but the acceptable version,
right,
of what they can share about porn.
Mm-hmm.
Like so if you say MILF or whatever, that maybe you are in the MILF porn.
Yeah, but they ain't trying to get down.
But whatever,
to
there's something else beneath MILF that you ain't talking about.
Yeah, the subsection of the subsection of the subsection. People go, how did you get all the way down there?
And Pornhub be telling the truth on us as a group, but but individually, I don't know if we're all ready for our individual truth. AC,
it would be too. It would be a lot.
AC says the 1% taking out the 1%. Sound like an ad for Mickey D's, Starbucks, and City Bike. Chill Guy says, thank you for calling out the whole Schultz situation. He's been trying to get that Rogan audience and thinks he's edgy / provocative, but he's neither. Spiv Major just left 3 stars and a 3 heart emojis and a thumbs up. Thank you, buddy.
We'll take that.
The poll for this episode is, have you ever done an official 5K or longer? 53% said yes, 46% have not. Which, that's pretty close. That's 50-50.
Physically active people out there.
Yeah, you guys be getting it in. 30-20 hot frosty. We got 5 comments on this. Let's see. Ann says the church's chicken in my neighborhood closed down and was replaced by a Popeye's chicken in the same location. So good things do happen when you least expect them to. Miss Barnes, that's an upgrade. Miss Barnes says the only time that I was stuck watching a holiday rom-com was the time that me and my sister spent Thanksgiving in Savannah, Georgia a couple of years ago. My sister hijacked the TV. I had no choice but to watch every godforsaken holiday rom-com on the Hallmark Channel because she loves them in true holiday rom-com fashion. We did not stay in a hotel. We stayed in the bed and breakfast. We walked the city and had Thanksgiving dinner in a nice, quiet, and quaint restaurant. The adult kid in me wanted to blast my Wu-Tang with Anime or Snap playing in the background. The only upside was that we discovered a bar behind our bed and breakfast where our bartender had me falling off the bar stool, flat blasted drunk, and the B&B where the bar was may or may not have been haunted. All of that to say that holiday rom-coms are okay.
Oh,
sounds like quite the adventure. Mary says, first of all, I did also listen to your spoiled movie review on this, and it's the first time I've listened to that particular premium show, and wow, I've been missing out. The opening rivaled the Balls Deep open. Luke, that's your daddy. They killed Old Yeller. Anyway, I enjoyed this episode and found it interesting to hear Russell's insight into how the rom-com genre is expanded and allowing for different stories. Romance in general is a huge business, and books have all sorts of subgenres like romanticy and reverse harem, exactly what you think it is. These type of films can get looked down on by film snobs, but it's good honest work as far as I'm concerned. It's nice people and a nice storyline that serves as a distraction in hard times. Also, as someone who lives in LA, not everyone who is in the entertainment business is doing Tom Cruise films or making that kind of money. Lots of everyday people in the business here make a decent living out the types of films, so I'm all for keeping people employed and spreading joy.
Me too. And for a lot of people, this is their checkout out of reality. Like for a lot of them, it's their happy place, and that's okay. And the thing is, I feel like that about these. I feel like that about Tyler Perry movies. Like there are certain things where people go, this is where I go for my joy or my fun or whatever, for scary movies, whatever your thing is. It's a form of entertainment. It is a form of escapism from like the world. And so the thing is, they don't have to be good. Everybody think everything has to be Shakespearean or else just fucking it shouldn't be made. And that's not true. Sometimes, you go, this is enjoyable. It itches a scratch and I'm satisfied with it no matter how many of these come out. And it's okay. You don't have to watch it if it's not your jam. But if it is, yes. And I do agree with the writer. Yeah, everybody, like I said, everybody ain't making billion-dollar movies. Like, so somebody has to make these movies.
Yep. Evie says, I had no desire to see Hot Frosty before this episode, but I would definitely check it out now. I do like cheesy Christmas movies. The ones on Netflix are pretty decent. Rona Raphael says, Hot Frosty reminds me of Naughty Thoughts, but We're all God's children, so I'll return back to earth. But every time I say it, I'll just start smiling in a sexy, pervy way. I wonder why. Anyway, I'm watching this movie this weekend. Love the conversation about writing and movies in general. I see a Blade coming, but what about Blade killing vampires in a cold, icy land? Now I'll drink some gluing to that hot frosty. I could also set up a trip to Greenland too. Really enjoyed Russell. Let me check the comments on YouTube, which these will be the last ones since I forgot to upload that shit. Jason says a podcast featuring a white dude in a Duke Blue Devils cap, and I loved every minute of it. Clearly, I'm on the path to selling out. That's how it happens. Gotta be careful. That's why I can't take Russ seriously when he's against the Marvel movie industry, but he's wearing the most evil corporation hat on the screen at the same time. Aisha says this was delightful, and Rod looked so festive. Thank you. No one ever really comments. I'm the only one that go out the way to give y'all looks on this podcast. Karen just wraps up in her blanket and covers everything up and only give you like the shoulders and up. I'm willing to give y'all like cool shirts, but very, very rarely do I get comments on my cool shirts or stuff. So I appreciate it.
You do be going out of your way.
Yeah. That sounds like a judgment, but whatever. I go in here. I just like to put on a show for the people, and so I had my Christmas hat on and my rimless Christmas sweater, and so I did that for y'all so that we could all have a fun time together. And I'm glad that at least one person was like, "I appreciate that Rod did that." The poll: do you watch Christmas rom-coms? Yes or no? 51% yes, 48% no. I actually think this is very high. I do not watch them. This is like my first time really watching one, and it's because my friend wrote it. And I don't think I would be able to just get into this genre period like all the time, but wow, that is a lot more people than I thought watch this, which explains why they make so many and have so many every year.
Which explains the Hallmark Channel. People do not understand it's a whole fucking channel that's goddamn dedicated to this shit 365 days a year. They all ain't Christmassy, but the premise is the same. We doing it summer, winter, spring, and fall. Like, they don't have a whole ass channel because nobody's watching the shit.
Yeah, it's funny because we're all like, we all are being served and we dismiss each other's thing, right? So like men watch unlimited amounts of NFL football. It doesn't matter how bad or ass it is, what day they move it to, they watch it, right? And yet if someone were to be like, you spend all the time watching, it's like, shut your ass up, you hater. But we'll shit on people openly that watch those holiday movies. Like, these are bad movies and you're just wasting time. It's like, if it's your shit, it's your shit.
That's how I feel.
I've watched a lot of bad football because of the jersey attached to the team and being like, I just got to watch it. Maybe people like, I'm gonna watch this Christmas movie. Maybe it'll be good, maybe it'll be bad, but whatever. I spent my time watching it the same way you spent your time watching the Panthers or whoever.
And I feel like that about a lot of shit. My thing is, if you like it, I love it. I really mean it. And I think instead of just judging, going, oh, you like that, you love that, and as long as it makes you happy, you're not hurting nobody, I'm good. And the same thing with people playing video games, going to the movies, like whatever your thing is that you spend time doing, because you only got a limited amount of time here, so you might as well do the things that you enjoy while you're here.
All right, the last episode of the week is Jesus Jameis, where we had Chris Lambert on, episode 3021. Ernest.com says, esteemed public intellectuals, just wanted to say thank you for making me think about Jaleel White and how every black boy with glasses of a certain age, self-included, got called Urkel. Honestly, I want to thank him because I know it was his popularity that got me cast in the Fackler role in a theme park police academy stunt show summer of my senior year in high school. That was way more money than I was making as a show technician. So as sick as I was at hearing it at school, I was about it on payday.
Ain't that the truth?
Didn't last long in that show, but I'm not trying to hijack your podcast stories of failed teenage stuntman. I just wanted to say good looking out to Jaleel, even if he never sees this, though I hope he does, because he deserves to have a good black ass time with the rest of us. Love y'all. Thanks for the show. Shout out to the chat room. Shout out. Tommy D says that Raisins Cane's soft story got my memories coming back. In the beginning of the pandemic, I went to the Panda Express drive-thru for chicken teriyaki. I get back home and there was no sauce on it like there was supposed to be. I put my pants back on, went back and showed there was no sauce. The window person explained that because of the new store regulations, they don't pour it on, but it comes in packets, they told me. I had to pay for the sauce as if it was extra. She tried to make excuses and that sometimes people don't want the sauce. I told her, madam, if I order chicken teriyaki, I expected to have teriyaki sauce.
You gonna charge me for it then?
She thought for a split second and said, you right. I got 3 packets instead of the standard 2, and I didn't even have to yell. Logic won the day for once. Good for y'all. Good. They could have ended badly.
Right. It's like, it's chicken teriyaki. And my thing is, if you don't want it, tell them on the side. Like, the fuck? Serve it together.
At least it wasn't chicken tetrazzini.
I'm glad it wasn't that.
That's only for, that joke's for like one person if they still listen to the show.
If they still listen to the show.
Abia says, Nichelle, if you're out there, that was for you. Abia says, interesting to hear this, his perspective on dating, as I always expect men to have an easy experience. Hope I will never have to date again. Even if it can be fun, I'm happily married to the introverted Mr. Abia. Well, I mean, that, you know, that if that's not something you want, then that's good that you have, you know, that you're happy, you know, good for y'all.
And just hearing people, it don't matter who you are. It is hard out there for a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, dating has always been a thing that's hard, but I feel like in this age of intimate connections with no intimacy, when it comes to the way we connect online for so much, I can imagine it's a very treacherous situation for folks. Ms. Barnes says, if you are on the dating apps, you're entitled to compensation. God bless anyone that is still on the dating apps. I'm happy that Chris is having a good experience on the apps. EVE says, I don't think what Jaleel White said was that egregious, but I think people are riled up over his past comments. There's this revisionist history as if we weren't watching Family Matters every Friday night, because most black people I know are still asking what happened to Judy when she went up those stairs. And we all remember Stephon Urkel, Steven's alter ego. Yeah, that's what I said when I don't remember his past comments, but the response to what he was saying made me, and I think I added that caveat when we talked about it in Fucking with Black People, was this feels like maybe he said some other shit, and then people are like, yeah, and also we don't like you, you ain't shit anyway, so that we gonna hold this against you too. I've never been to Raising Cane's either, but they're opening one down the road for me this January, so I'll find out for myself if it's good or not, but I can understand about not getting the sauce. I was at Taco Bell this week and asked for hot sauce. The lady gave me one packet as if they were rationing that shit out. I was so pissed, but then I went into my condiment drawer at home and I had some extra Taco Bell sauce in there. I think that's a universal black experience right there. Yep, I got some. Always.
Yeah, we always hold on to it. And, you know, the thing is, what's so crazy about that is, like, they buy them in fucking pallets. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, hey, dog, like, it don't matter, you know, but I'm pretty sure somebody tells the person that ain't gonna get yelled at, tells the person that's gonna get yelled at, that they have to charge 55 cents. A lot of times they just scared to say something. They, you know, they be like, well, it's gonna be like I can literally see the frightening in their eyes. I be like, I'll pay for it. Like because if I ask you, and I understand, I don't want to make it difficult for either party. So like, sure, I paid the 50 cents. I paid $1 for the extra sauce, and their relief is like, really? Yes, bitch, really? I didn't ask you for no reason. Now go get the fucking sauce. I'm paying for it now. So now, if you get an attitude with me, because now you got to go do your job, I'm gonna get mad, because I'm like, well, I'm paying for the shit. You tell me you're gonna charge me for it. Go get it.
I think the advanced level is also you have to. I now have other sauces too. So like, if I can get my hands on like an extra Chick-fil-A Polynesian sauce, keeping it. You know what I'm saying? And if you really want to be greedy, like I am, they're in certain areas they're selling in the stores sauces. Chick-fil-A has sauces in the stores. Bojangles now has sauces in the store.
They sure do.
And I love that Bojangles. Them sauces be hitting. I don't know what kind of MSG mercury trans fats they got in there, but
it's good.
They got the recipe just right.
Yeah.
Ronan Raphael. Oh, and then full disclosure, Justin's pulling up. I have to give him the some DVDs for screeners so we can review movies.
Okay.
So when he gets to the door, I may have to leave for a second.
Okay.
But you just want to give everybody a heads up. We'll have Karen tell y'all a story from her childhood or some shit. Ronan Raphael says, I used to be on them dating apps. Crazy thing was that they never met the Ronan Raphael, just as Raphael say it in Spanish, Raphael. I got a lot of terrible advice from my early days in America, and I applied going in from cousins, shipmates, and folks that I never once asked myself, do I like where they are in their relationship? So of course, it was the women's fault, and I began to doubt myself. I always swallowed the red pills, but I almost swallowed the red pills. But at the last second, my future self showed up and said, "You're going to defend the middle name. Snap out of it." So I humbly asked 2 of my favorite lesbian friends to look at my profile on one of the apps. After shaking their heads and laughing for what felt like an eternity, they cleaned my profile up and picked photos that made me look sexier and no longer like Candyman. Yeah, I don't know why men take that one photo that looks like what it would look like if a man was strangling you to death. Especially black men.
Your whole ass nostrils.
Especially black men who do not smile. Karen, go ahead and take it from here. I'll be right back.
No problem. And it's men of a certain age. It's like they take the camera up underneath their nose, so all I'm seeing is your flared ass nostrils. It don't make no sense. It's like, damn, go to a photo shoot or something, or get some woman in your life. Well, because one of the things where, if I'm on the app, I'm like, damn, nigga, smile. Unless your teeth missing or some shit, smile. Don't nobody want no picture of some grumpy ass man looking at them. That's very creepy. I understand you trying to be cool, but guess what? I'm not your boy. I'm not your dog. you trying to have sex with me. So, I mean, at least appear friendly. Damn, you scan the hoes in your photos and then be like, ain't nobody swiping on me. No, nigga. That's why nobody swiping on you, on me. It looked like you standing over top of me trying to choke me. There is going to be a problem. So shout out to you, fan, for having somebody be like, hey, you got to get better photos.
Yeah, I'm always telling brothers smiling their pics anyway. I don't know why. I'm sure it's some type of racialized trauma or slavery. I don't know why black men don't smile in their photos. So a lot of times the photos men think they look good in are these like either these like they look hard, like I just got out of jail.
Yes.
And I'm like, I'm sure that's some women's shit. I'm not saying it's nobody's, but
right.
Unless you like, a supermodel ass nigga or something, I don't know why you're not smiling to look inviting and pleasant, like maybe you're laughing at a joke, like it might be a good time to be around. Instead of that one angle of the picture that men always take that look like this shit right here.
Yeah, they love that photo.
Like that shit just look like you punched me and I'm trying to get back conscious, and you looking down like one of the people that do reenactments in a murder show or something.
They love that photo and don't be knowing how to crop shit out the background. You be like, what is we doing here, nigga? I can see the top of your refrigerator with the cereal box. At least take your picture against a wall that's white or something. It's like, come on. They be like, y'all do too much. That's because we're trying to be inviting. You want women to be sexy, but you don't want to be sexy for us. Come on, that don't make no sense. Come on. You be too busy trying to do shit for your boys.
Like what happened to I think that's one of the reasons that the people that do the shit where they do the like holding a fish or you know what I'm saying, like that pic, like at least you're doing something. And normally if you're holding a fish, you are smiling. Like, look at this fish I caught.
It's accomplishment.
Yeah, like that's dope compared to these profiles where it's just like here is a person
angry.
Yeah, here's a person that just got away with this is like what OJ looked like immediately after. So
just angry, like you about to cuss me out. No, thank you. I will swipe whatever left then. No, thank you.
But yeah, having some, especially like people that have an eye for like what women would see and trying to pull a woman. That's the hookup. Shout out to having lesbian friends.
Yeah, and it's also not trying to be funny, and maybe it's just me as a woman. Men's standards are like super fucking low. Like it's like I can come in here looking any old fucking way. I got a dick, bitch, so take it. And women are like, no, at least have some standards. They're like, why? I got the right to your pussy. And that's what the problem is, in my opinion, for a lot of shit. Because they don't feel like, a lot of men don't feel like they need to put in the effort.
Let's see. At the game changer. I was going on dates, messing up, but on my own terms. Men, get you a woman friend or a gay friend to fix your profile. See, a Ronan is cheerful giver and still gives back to his community. Play black capitalist rod. No. The poll was, are you on dating apps? Yes or no? 89% of our audience is not. 11% is. Man, which I don't know if now I need to know, like, is the percentage people being like, man, fuck this shit, or is it percentage just like, man, I'm happy or whatever, like I'm not looking in general, or what?
It's gonna be interesting. I would love to see over the past maybe 5 to 7 years that trend, because at one period of time I think these numbers were higher. But as people began to get on these apps, and as these apps begin to do things to make them where you consistently pay a monthly fees to have access and shit like that, a lot of people are like, I'm paying for it, but I'm still having a hard time. So why am I paying you? For the service? So I could see the trend going down, and maybe just me. I could see particular people of a certain age going, I've tried it because that's what everybody say you're supposed to do, and but some people it just don't fit them. They go, these apps don't fit whatever I'm desiring.
I think also, like, we now know the pitfalls of things. Like when things are new, they're pitched as like the perfect thing, especially technology. Oh, Bitcoin's going to solve this, and NFTs are going to do that, and dating apps are going to do this, and Uber's going to help you get rid of the racism in taxi. And then you do that long enough, you realize people are people, and they're still going to find a way for it to suck. And I wonder if, like, through the souring on social media, generations growing up with Instagram and oversharing are like, I don't want to make my dating electronic as well on the same internet that people make me feel inadequate already when they post a slim tummy tea or whatever the fuck picture.
Also over the years, these apps are kind of marketed towards us differently, because when the apps first came out, they was literally everywhere. When was the last time that I can't even remember the last time I've actually seen a dating app on like regular ass TV? Like you might see them every now and then, but nothing how it used to be. It used to be like everywhere, mingle, meet people. You used to consistently see the apps, but over time they spend the advertising money, but I don't think they spend it in different places now.
So are you talking about commercials?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because before that's why
there's not as many of those commercials,
right? And that's why I think that with that decrease in that boom, 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 they're going to other places where the people are. And so I could see them saying, if everything is online, why are we targeting people in the demographic as TV when these people are online?
Right. All right, let's get into voicemails for the show. We got one person, Nikki, who left 2 voicemails.
Hey, Rod and Karen, it's Nicole, or Nikki, whatever. So just got done listening to the episode with Chris Lambert and the whole entire Jalil White thing. I did listen to the audiobook. I just finished it a couple days ago. And I'm not going to lie, the reason why I went to go listen to it is because of the things I was seeing about him on TikTok, like saying that, because how the whole entire rumor thing is, he is a diva and he's difficult to work with and he's like this and blah, blah, blah. And that they're like, oh yeah, the book is just, he's being a diva in the book. And, kind of like, some things of like, kind of being like anti-Black, you know what I mean? And so me, I do my own investigations, and plus Spotify gives you 15 hours of free audiobooks a month with a premium subscription. So listening to the book and hearing, I didn't watch that whole entire, talk he did, but from the context of the book and what he said, that's how I know people didn't read the book. Or that's how I like, because it's like he wasn't talking about Black people. If you go back and listen to his book, he's very Black. He talks about like everyone he talks about hanging out with were mainly Black. And I went to go look it up on Wikipedia. Most of the girlfriends that is mentioned on Wikipedia, they're all white women. But who cares? You know what I mean? So he's not anti-Black. He's not putting down Black people. He talks about that. He talks about going to UCLA and making sure to go to every, Black Student Union concert. So it's very interesting seeing what people are saying in their reaction when in context, I already know you didn't read the book, did you? You just going off an excerpt. But internet will internet. So yeah, that's all I got to say. All right, bye.
She called back. She left.
Oh, this is Nikki again. I'm sorry for leaving another message, but I just wanted to say something real quick. Black is not a monolith. I'm a suburban Black girl. I didn't have where I lived. There were no Black people. We were literally the only Black people. When I tell white people what town I grew up in, or it is a city or whatever, the KKK was living there till the KKK had rallies until like 1981, and I grew up in Southern California. And that the city I grew up in is also known for the Hells Angels, and they did build Terminator in the city I grew up in. But growing up as a suburban Black girl, and it probably didn't help that I married a white German guy. But sometimes there are Black people out there who judge, not all Black people. There's I'll say a small percentage of Black people who judge my Blackness on that I didn't grow up in poverty.
Right.
Basically, they're like, oh, you don't know what it's like to be Black because you ain't never been without food. You ain't never been on food stamps. I'm like, majority of Black people I know are not in poverty. So why is that? Why is that the marker for Blackness? Because sometimes people do that. But for the most part, I'll be honest, by the time I got to high school, there's more Black people, and I felt seen. It was a very great experience. But most of the time, even now, most of my friends are Black. So what they normally say about me is this. They're like, you come off like, that you probably be like Hillary Banks, that you're very, like maybe sedity, just like looking at you. But they're like, you are ghetto as hell. I'm like, oh yeah, I just know how to code switch very well. So I get like when, Jaleel White, what he's saying, but there are some Black people, Candace Owens, who grew up in this all-white suburbs, and I don't know what happened to them. They lost souls. I do know, I went to high school with some girls like that. That wasn't me. My family was Black as fuck, and my parents is Black, and I just happened to fall in love with a white German guy. But yeah.
Yeah, I think as a rule of thumb, I just try to go by, if you're not disparaging Black people, I am leaving the dating stuff off limits. I know other people don't do that. I know there's a lot of weird conflation of macro and micro, with someone marries a white person and then people want to like throw them out of Blackness or question their commitment to Blackness.
Right.
And we recently saw, and it doesn't like extend to just athletes or celebrities. I saw people saying this about Nikki Giovanni, who passed this week. My favorite poet, or she's up there, probably my favorite poet. Her work, her thoughts, her integrity was dedicated to Blackness in so many respects. We were always on her mind as a people and as part of herself. And to say, when she passes, here's a picture of her and her wife, and it's a white woman, and have people actually question her commitment to Blackness. Racism has us all so fucked up.
It does.
It has us all so fucked up. Someone can, and like I said, it doesn't, all I'm saying is the Venn diagram isn't a complete circle. There are people who are like, I refuse to date a Black person. And to me, that does feel racist. I don't know how you justify that without saying it's some level of racism. But there are also people who, as you said, the people in their dating pool were the people they were around, and they just happen to be white. There's also this sort of like child of no one thing that happens to Black people in America because of racism, and it's not their fault. Mm-hmm. And what I mean is, it is really highlighted well. Howard Bryant, in one of his books, really highlighted it. I think it's called The Lost Generation is the chapter. And it's from Full Dissident, which is a great book. But he kind of highlighted how Black parents seeking to be good Black parents a lot of times have to move away from Blackness because the resources in cities are scattered to whiteness. So all of a sudden, you're the Black family moving into that suburb. You're the one of the ones. Like, you're not all. You want to give your kid the best education. Education is racialized in America.
Yes, it is.
They go to a private school, they're not going to be around a lot of Black kids. They live in that neighborhood, they're not going to be around so many
Yeah, the
of us.
AG and AP and like them higher point stuff. A lot of times in a lot of schools, they'll depend on the school and the school system, don't even offer some of those classes. And you're like, hey, like I won't. And the thing is, every generation wants the best for the next generation. And so some parents had to make a decision. I want the best for my child. And if the best for my child is over there and I can afford it, that's what I'm going to do.
Well, what's fucked up is that in America, even picking the best for black people is picking a consequence.
Mm-hmm.
So the best in many cases is racialized in America. There are some cities where you are privileged enough that the best is also black and culturally attuned to you.
Right.
But many cases it's not. And so these kids put in these situations over and over again. And we see many times black people find black people, period.
They will
meaning it. I don't. This is why we don't quibble about the PWI versus HBCU thing on our podcast. Because last time I checked, PWIs be having black student unions.
Yes,
they be having black fraternities, sororities.
Yes, they do.
Black people find black people. They hang out. So I'm not gonna question you as an outsider. I'm not gonna just cynically suspect you just because you have a white person as your partner, or because you grew up around white folks. And a lot of times we also make a penalty out of that. It's a joke to those people, to us, when we take, like, Hillary Banks is played as a joke character on, even though she's part of black, and representation matters. And I think it's actually kind of dope that there's a wide swath of classism and different racial experiences within a show like Fresh Prince. It's a good subtext to it. But also, in those formative years, there are people who hold this stuff forever. And so some people went down a different path. You asked about Candace Owens. I'm not saying this is what happened to Candace Owens. I'm not excusing the way she is, but I'm saying some people go down a different path where your cousins may have picked on you, like, you think you the white girl with your bougie ass, but they still love you and they're your cousins. Yes. And you were able to, with a good sense of humor, take it in stride and be like, this is part of blackness too. They're picking on me. That's part of blackness. The same thing we see with light-skinned people, right? Where light-skinned people, some of them go down the path of anti-blackness and colorism because they go back to when I was 12, someone said something and I'll never get over it. Or there's many that have that sense of humor, community, or whatever, and they're like, okay, you picked on me. You got me. I do have this privilege, or I do look different, or whatever. You call me white, but I know it's from a place of us loving each other in this community. And it's not from a place of us trying to harm each other in this community.
Agreed.
And that only works if you understand, like, privilege and those dynamics, and you truly have trust. And not everyone has that, right? So, and now that the internet has made us more connected and disconnected at the same time, you got people commenting on folks' whole lives off a picture of them with a white person they married. And it's crazy because, like I said, when I think of blackness, I think of Nikki Giovanni. Period. To have people go, white wife, this how they do. Like, okay. So yeah, and in that the chapter I was talking about is the Lost Tribe of Integration, which is a chapter from Full Dissident, which is a book by Howard Bryant. A great book, by the way.
Yeah, and maybe it's just me and the way I grew up. When it comes to blackness, particularly here in America, I can't speak for other places. When it comes to blackness here in America, I am like, as long as you are not anti-black, I don't care. I don't care who you're dating, who you're fucking, who you're married, who your tree line is. Like, I don't care. And no matter what your economic background is, your experience is a black experience, and can't nobody take that away from you. And the thing about internet and being online, they want to quote unquote put people in blackness, kick people out of blackness. And for some people, that has always been a fear of theirs. I've never really had that fear. So at first it was hard for me to understand that. But as I got older, I was like, oh, okay. I began to have more empathy and compassion for people that are black, that have had other experiences. Because in my mind, I was like, well, nigga, you a nigga. The fuck we talking about? But I was like, oh, it's different for people from different backgrounds and things like that, and being the only one. And I've never had to live that experience, so I wouldn't understand. But as far as I'm concerned, you are still black to me.
Yeah. So I don't, like I said, yeah, everything you said, I agree with. All right, last segment. We got to get to these. We got to get to these emails that y'all sent. All right. Emails. Our girl Sid. What's up, girl? She writes in episode 3021. Number one, use the hip hop combos for your IG clips. Love, love, love the music takes. Okay, you know what? That's a good idea. I will send that in. Two, TDE is hosting a red wedding for the rap industry. Kendrick, Tyler, Doshi, and Solana SZA. I really didn't see the conscious artists causing more conversation than the trap, drill, pussy rap. Right? I didn't see that either. I would, yeah. If you would have asked me how 2024 was going, I would have been like, another year of pussy rap being on top. Like, they've been killing it. The women are the only ones that seem like they really trying. But man, they kind of came through. And I love this. If it's true, I love if Kendrick and SZA and Doshi are together, because there's something about that is so dope with it being Kendrick going on tour with two women. Like that
speaks volumes.
Yeah, because I think he don't do all the like, I'm not going back and forth with y'all. I'm not doing no performing on the internet of trying to like prove my bona fides. You know, you want to write an article and be like, Kendrick Lamar and the real misogyny of this beef with Drake. Fine. When me and my homies, my friend, label mate, and Doshi, who I basically said is one of them ones and got next, when they're on tour in these stadiums with me, then you can just see what the work I'm doing is. It's like how he didn't respond when Drake said, you don't even put money in the hood. Well, hey guys, the pop out is free to everybody. See you guys at the pop out. By the way, we just did a Christmas concert for Compton. Yeah, like for the kids. I don't, why would I be on here trying to prove anything? Just, you can, if you pay attention, you'll see how I move. So anyway, I like that. But you know, that being said, pussy rap still doing good. Okay.
Come on.
Okay, the girls are still out here. Okay.
Come on. Ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of pussy rap.
Hey Jane, Luther, Whacked Out Murals, Balloon, Nissan Altima, they on everybody's head. Yes, they are. 3, have you heard Elmian? Oh, no, I have not. I'm a rap girly, but my boy put R&B on his back and he running with it. Okay, Sid. Okay, I gotta check that out. Add that to my Spotify right now.
I like some good R&B,
because I will forget. Okay, all right. I'm adding this artist. I'm following. All right, we'll get on it. Sid also says, "Oh my God, Umar has been making sense lately. I thought it was just me." 3 crying emojis. Gotta be vigilant, right?
Because eventually he gonna go left, y'all. Don't fall for the trap. Don't. That's how he get people, and then all of a sudden he go a little bit off, and y'all be like, "But he was right 75% of the time." No,
I be looking at them clips like, okay. It's 10 minutes long. Let's see how long I can last. I got the minute 10 was like about to clap. I said, oh God, unfollow, block.
Let me get out the room.
Cause hey, you know, I'm just one video. I'm one video away from him being like, you know, and that's why gay people didn't exist in Africa and having, oh, that is right. He's crazy.
Here's a link to my school.
He always addressed the school when he go viral. He keeps saying, y'all done gave money to other people for years. Y'all not even gonna give me money for years to create a school. I'm like, nigga, you the one told us it was gonna be open by now. That's not my fault. John writes in, lives versus change. Good morning, and Rod and Karen. The thing that is even more ridiculous about the pearl clutch and about Biden changing his stance on the quote unquote line about pardoning Hunter is that I see so much of that sentiment coming from activist types whose whole world revolves around getting politicians to change their stance regardless of what they promised to do in the past.
Right.
If Biden changed stances in a way they approved of, they would celebrate it or more likely ignore or criticize him for doing it wrong. Let's be real. Yep. It's such bullshit, and not any different than when Republicans like McConnell pretended to be principled, but we all know damn well it's really about whether or not they agree or like the result.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's all a lot of disingenuous conversation around it, and I'm not entertaining it. I think it's a pretty simple truth, and based on if you like him, believe him, trust him, think he's a man of his word, or you just want to get the clout, that will base how you go if he lied or if he changed his mind. Either way, it ultimately doesn't matter to me. It's a footnote in history, and good for him and good for his son.
Right.
Rod, I'm with you on being overall the election result theories and explanations, but for a different reason. I think there's a real possibility that we are all trying to find a way to make sense of something that just may not make sense. Voters are so damn fickle, uninformed, impulsive, lacking any real coherent worldview that any attempt to fit their behavior into logic could be fatally flawed. Chris Hayes used to canvass and do focus groups with undecided voters before he became a journalist, and he talked about how when he asked undecided independent voters what issue might make you change who you vote for, the most common response was basically, what's an issue? And a blank stare. They didn't even understand the concept of what an issue was. Likewise, we've seen that when asked about specific policy, many voters will flip from currently supporting it to completely opposing it with only a tiny, meaningless change in the wording, all while being completely unaware of the contradiction. Time and time again, American voters choose to let the other party have a chance to lead. And anytime they aren't happy, no matter how bad that party is who caused the mess, is performative contrarian bullshit. And I think there are several million of these dumbass voters in every presidential election, more than enough to account for the win margins, who pulled the lever based on basically nothing but vibes and whether political squirrel captured their attention just before election day. That's not to downplay the effects of racism and misogyny, which are obviously huge, but I feel like we overlook how criminally irrational many of our voters are. We love to think that this policy or that worldview will explain election results, but there have been studies that show that things like whether it rains or not, or whose name is first on the ballot, had a butterfly effect power to swing tight margin elections one way or another. It sucks and it's utterly terrifying that this is why we all want more meaningful theories on what determines our fate. Thanks for attending my TED Talk. Karen, go ahead. You get this one first.
Oh, okay. And the thing is, even with what you said, all this is based in reality. Even all these fickle people out there, they live in a real world and they are impacted by different things. Even though they say things, it's not about what they say, it's about what they do. And that's what I'm concerned about. I don't give a fuck about what they say. I don't give a fuck about if they quote unquote claim they don't. I don't care. We all are being impacted by racism, homophobia, sexism, all these isms. We're being consistently impacted by them, knowingly and unknowingly. We're all being impacted by them. So yes, it might sound irrational and illogical, yes, but they're all rooted into something, because when these people vote, they go in here and you might have a tiny percentage that might flip a coin up and say, fuck it, I'm just going to press something. But the reality is too many Americans that don't want to be truthful with themselves. They don't want to admit that they voted for this shit because they wanted this shit, because it couldn't be a woman, it couldn't be black, or whatever the things is. I don't give a fuck about these fucking polls. I'm looking at the end result of who won. That matters to me more than what they say on the poll and what they say on the interview and this and the undecided voter does not exist. I don't give a fuck. I do not care about those people. They don't exist. They pop up every 4 years like goddamn Jill Stein. Nobody gives a fuck about them. Nobody's asking in your local election. When y'all have local elections, nobody pulls the people up going, what do you decide about the mayor? Are you undecided? What do you think about this judge? No, people know what the fuck they're going to do. They don't want to be judged. They don't want people to look at them. They don't want to be called racist. They don't want to be called sexism. They don't want to be called misogynist. They don't want that. So they will pretend and they will do these things to make people think they're irrational and illogical. They'd rather you think that is a true statement than what the reality is, what it is. I look at the results. I don't fuck about these polls or these goddamn numbers. You voted for this shit because you wanted this shit. How people vote is based in some reality. It's not just tossed that in the air. Like I said, you might have a tiny percent, but most people are voting from somewhere. They don't vote just because.
So reading all of that, I wrote down some thoughts, and here's the thing I will say. It's the racism and the sexism. And that's not a conspiracy. It's rooted in the underpinnings of this country, and it can't be dismissed. Even like what you'll notice is in your thesis, you actually winnowed everything down to the swing voters and the undecideds. I'm not talking about them for real. There's only three types of voters in this last election. There's people that voted for some level of either progress or preservation of life, right? People that vote for Kamala Harris, 40-something%, right? Of the people who did vote. There's a slight majority of people that voted for Donald Trump, which obviously, terrible people that are okay with terrible things or want terrible things to happen. And then the only other option is people who are just kind of bystanders who don't mind watching this and not getting involved. It's the people watching someone get beat in the street and going, both about the same to me. I can't be bothered, whatever. So when you're talking about broad sweeping theories, or like coming out of this, what was it that changed this and the other? I think if you want to talk about that handful of people that really were motivated, which seems to be young white males this time, that's fine. Like that, I think that was a big part of it. A lot of backlash and stuff, as I've spoken about on the show. But I think the biggest part is that there's just people who are racist and sexist. And I don't think we're guessing at it. I think a country that started with women not being able to vote and black people in chains, that's a confirmed fact. If anything, I need you to disprove that they were motivated by something as simple as who the economy or who was in office, or they just didn't understand. I think even their ignorance is part of the grift and part of the cover that is giving. And then the final thing I'll say, to the people that are the bedrock foundation of this country in a lot of ways, when it comes to the ignorance and the racism. White people. What your response essentially was a response that only focused on white people. By which I mean every other demographic just about, right? Once you get to race, they know who they side with and they're consistent in that. Only white people have done this swing from like, hey man, once they tried to get these black people rights, I'm conservative now. Like white people get the option, and that's why I said I haven't really wanted to make this podcast like the let's only talk about the results of the election thing, because to me it's like, oh, this is white people business. This white people did this, and they're the only ones that get the benefit of the doubt, or the conversation that starts with, well, maybe it's just they weren't paying attention, or hey, maybe it was just going off of vibes, or hey, maybe the vibes are racism, the attention is racism, the sexism that comes part of white, that is them, and it is who it is, and they said what they said, and I believe them. And so I think the theorizing for me feels tired, because I think what I am saying is the immutable truth. And there's not going to be a survey that can back that up, because even the assumption that they are answering your poll questions correctly,
and honestly,
that they are being honest, is a privilege given to white people, right? And that the racism and the sexism is the point, is because every other demographic that even shifts a percentage point to Republicans, how is it covered in the news? It's not covered in some like they're just open-minded and who knows if they even know what they're voting for. It's what the fuck are black men doing voting for Trump? What the fuck are Latino men doing voting for Trump? That's how it's always covered. Why are these women voting for Trump? That's how it's covered, because the assumption is a vote for them is a vote for white supremacy. And if we can say that as a society, if we can keep endlessly covering the 1% to 4% shift in every other demographic towards Trump as if that is alarming news, then why aren't we alarmed that 70% of white people are motivated by that they are siding with white supremacy? It's a conversation that's not a real conversation. It's not actually happening. And, as well-meaning as people like Chris Hayes are, even he not ready for this real conversation. This real conversation can't be really had on their airwaves.
Agreed, 100% agreed. And this is one reason why, when it comes to me and Roderick, and like you say, for a lot of people, you just really can't have the conversation, because in my mind, if we don't start at racism and sexism and homophobia and all these isms, there's nothing for us to talk about, because everything else is an excuse. Them not knowing is an excuse. Them playing stupid is an excuse. These polls is an excuse. Everything is an excuse for the reality that I see, that I know, that I feel, that I have to look at every day waking up in this country. You can't gaslight me and make me think I'm fucking crazy when I know what I know, and I saw what I saw, and the results confirmed in me what I felt.
On a completely unrelated note, I have a question about the podcast I've been meaning to ask. Why is it Bullet Ball only granted unofficial status? Because I don't want to get sued. Will it ever become official?
Mm-hmm.
No. I feel like that. First of all, I was friends with him on Facebook. I think I might still be friends, or I'm not. Maybe one day he finally unfriended me. Maybe we said something offensive about Bullet Ball. But that dude, that's a real business that's trademarked. So I don't want to say the official podcast of Bullet Ball, because then the motherfucker sue us. I'm not giving him half of what I got. He might need it too. Bullet Ball, I don't know how much money it's making him.
Mm-mm.
Is it like NATO membership where it needs to be voted on every so often? Love seeing Apia and Raphael connect. What a lovely picture, an adorable child. Someone should put that on an NFT to sell as the Black Autist merch. Rochelle says, hi, Rod and Karen. Thank you. I wanted to say thank you for what you do. My sister turned me on to your show last year, but I didn't really get into it till this year. I'm going through a divorce, and you've helped me through some tough days. During the summer, I was caught up with my other podcasts and starting to listen to yours more consistently. You made me laugh, think, and go through all the emotions. I love that you are both just being yourselves and enjoying the work you do. Like Chris said this week, I too would like a relationship like you and Karen. After 20 years of marriage, I hope one day I find a person that matches my energy. I signed up for the Black Friday special on the last day. I have yet to listen to anything about the paywall, but it's there for when I need it. Thank you again, Shelly.
Oh,
thank you, Shelly.
It's plenty of stuff back there you never heard of before, and like the person that wrote in, they go, I've been a premium member for years, but I haven't pressed play on stuff. Like you say, for people that are premium, you have access to everything. So listen to it. You're paying for it.
Sorry you had a tough time, but I'm glad that we were able to give some respite within
Same.
that. Chris says, catch up feedback. Hey, yo, what's good, Pastor Rod and First Lady Karen? It's Chris, captain of the crew, catch up crew, the cousin that's always late and leaves early. There are many times when I listen and I have a thought about the things y'all are talking about, but then I wait like 5 minutes. Without fail, y'all cover exactly what I have in mind. You know what I call that? Being of one accord. Can I get an amen? Amen. I had the exact same thought about Drake. One way I see him getting out of this mess is becoming a MAGA drizzy. Not because of Trump, but because I believe he and Elon had the same I'm the coolest guy in the room, please like me energy.
Oh, no.
I think he could get out of it that way. I hope I really wish he don't, but I think a lot of his fans are already those type of Andrew Schultz, ish guys that, his music's very red-pilled music. With the why, how come? Because I cheat on you, you be going out at night, that kind of shit. And I think he's been making some signals with who he's been streaming with and palling around with that he could 100% go that way, but I hope he don't. So I was thinking, you do a whole lot of reading during the feedback show, and I appreciate it because it makes it feel more personal. But I know you get tired from reading all these comments and emails. So I had a thought. What if you use AI from time to time to read some of the comments? You could even use the condescending Negro, whose name I'm sure is something like Reggie or Leon or something, voice. It's Adam, by the way. Think about it. Wouldn't Raphael's scam sound all the more scammier in Reggie's voice? Wouldn't Appia's lovely white woman musings be more amusing coming from a man who exclusively dates white women because he believes black women are the real racists? Anyway, just some thoughts. Love and peace, Chris. Thanks, Chris. That's very funny.
That's hilarious.
I don't think on a principle level, I don't think I would go with the AI thing. Maybe comedically if there was a reason, but as a writer, I'm just kind of anti-AI, period. I don't like that shit.
AI is a scam.
Okay. Shit trying to take my job.
Right.
The second part of it is I'm one of them ones. Okay. I get tired after reading 3 hours of feedback. but I was built for this. Okay.
Yeah, we've been doing this for a really
These other
long
motherfuckers.
time.
No, not no we. Not no we. Not no we. This not a
Oh
both
shit!
way.
I can't take credit.
I'm singing a solo on this bitch.
Oh shit! It can't.
Y'all got ears. Y'all hear it. I'll read 3-4 hours of what the fuck y'all have to say.
He will.
Comment on it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And comprehend it. And try to do y'all some favors sometimes and fix these spelling mistakes or make it funnier or say it in a certain voice or whatever. And the reason why is because I'm one of one. I'm an alien. I'm rare. I'm like that. So no, there won't be no AI doing that bullshit on my watch. AI is for these lesser podcasters who ain't got the stamina to sit in the ring with fucking 27-page emails that you motherfucking professors keep sending and getting corrected by Sean on some jokes that I wrote that weren't even supposed to be fact checked, or find out Appia's quest on Black Friends, or get trolled by Raphael for the 97th time about these third name losers.
Like, I got you.
I can do that because I'm built for this.
You built for this.
These other podcasters got to take a break. They got to go get some water. They got to take a week off. Not me. Okay? You look around the league, you don't ask, how was Rod able to dominate for 22 years straight like LeBron James? You look at Kevin Durant and say, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you, Kawhi Leonard? Get your conditioning up. All right, we also got some things in the mail.
Funny.
We got some things in the mail as well.
We did.
So let's check it out. We got a card. The first one says for two special people, and it appears to be like a snowy horse. Maybe one of the Budweiser horses dragging some people behind them. And it says, wishing you both a wonderful holiday season filled with many happy moments and memories to last a lifetime. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. And then it says, wishing you a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's. Best, I think this is Tammy or Jam. Let me make sure that's right. Let me make sure. Tammy. Okay, it say Tammy. Thank you, Tammy.
Mm-hmm.
So this is one of them good stock. This is some good paper. Okay, you spent the money.
Child, yeah, I got to figure out what I'm going to do with these cards. I think I might make a big old collage out of them.
All right, we got 2 more cards that we got in the mail. Well, thank you. This one says gnome for the holidays. Now, you know I love a good pun. Okay, they gnomes.
Oh, that's
so they gnome for the holidays.
Adorable.
Okay. Dear Rod and Karen, wishing you a very Merry Christmas and joyful New Year. Your longtime listeners, Mike B and Debbie O. Thank you, Mike B and Debbie O.
Oh,
we appreciate y'all. Okay,
I love a good card. Y'all, I do got about 4,500 of them in here.
One last card, and on the front it's a wreath, and it just says joy. Okay, and it says, Rod and Karen, here's to a Merry Christmas and Happy New Beginnings. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I love the show. You guys are the best. Kim A. And then she has her username in here and a check. Oh, for guys. So when I told y'all, if you email me, I will work with you. All right. I did tell y'all that. Zelle, Venmo, Cash App, whatever. I'm trying to help everybody get premium. If PayPal not doing right for you, I'll work it out. Mm-hmm. But I got a couple people that literally was like, can I write a check? And I'm like, why not?
Yes.
Like,
it cashes.
Fuck it. We doing checks now.
It cashes.
This is a check for the Black Friday deal. And I said, now, if you do this, understand, like, it's going to get here after Black Friday. So because of the program, I have to make sure the access still runs out around the same time as everyone else. Mm-hmm. And people was like, fuck it, I'll mail the check. And I feel like this is the blackest thing I ever did, because I absolutely am taking a check that will be putting into the business account. So
we take it. We take the ones that fold, jingle, electronic, and checks.
We are truly a black business.
Mm-hmm. If the bank take it, we take it. Shit.
That might be the black business moment of the week. Okay. Like there's nothing blacker than alternative means of payment.
Come on through. We'll work with you.
Like, nephew, what if I give you a pot of ribs? I'm like, what? I'll give you a 6-pack of. Anyway, we got some stuff from our Amazon wish list here.
Yay!
Okay, now let's see. This is hold on now. This says Black Amber on the front, and it says Crevette. I don't know what Crevette. What's Crevette?
I might have to look that one
French.
up.
Crevette.
Oui.
Yeah. All right. Let me open this thing up. Don't want to come out. Okay. Oh, pulling it out. All right. Ooh, is this what I think it is? It's a candle. Black Amber, Black Al. Now that's definitely something I put on the list.
Yes,
because I loves me a candle. I'm a candle burning bitch.
I keep a candle going. A candle burning bitch, and I'm forever blowing them bitches out. You ain't gonna burn the house down.
It'll be a good way to die, smelling like pumpkin spice. Okay, and I definitely put this on the list. Someone was listening last week. My Hero Academia calendar.
That's one of my favorite animes, y'all. We watch that shit every season.
One of the 3 calendars we keep a calendar
on the wall. We got 1, 2, we got 4 calendars.
Yeah,
we got 1 in the bathroom, 1 in the kitchen, and 2 in here.
So the calendars went on there. This now something in here is gift wrap, and I think it came with a note.
Shit.
I don't know if it's all from saying. It says, Rod and Karen, Merry Christmas. Thank you for all you do. You two are legit my besties in my head. Thank you for bringing the sanity in this crazy world. Dawn. Thank you, Dawn. I think she reached out.
Back.
I believe she reached out on Facebook, I believe, to let me know, like, hey, the address for y'all's wish list isn't showing right. And I'm gonna go ahead and take, like, is this how I send it and stuff? And she helped me fix the list.
Thank you. Yeah, baby. Thank you. Yeah, it's fixing. I went on there and kind of updated some stuff too, because you go on there, they be like, not available. I was like, well, bitch, I'm gonna make it available.
Yeah. And I went on there and took a lot of Karen stuff off because I'm tired of just only getting Karen stuff.
You so put shit on there too?
I'm just joking, Karen.
I don't take my shit off.
I was like, who want more work from me? It's always mops and shit I gotta do.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's not stuff she not interested in doing this.
I'm trying to help you.
I don't even know how they got this in this bag. I'm gonna have to cut the bag.
Oh,
it's that tight. I'm sorry, Karen. It's just a plastic bag. It'll be all right.
Okay,
it's not the end of the world. But I don't even know how they got this shit in. Like, they must have really. I don't want to break it trying to force it out, which is why I'm not doing it that way. But yeah, okay, all right.
There you go. Okay, can you get into it now? There you go.
Okay, it's got a card. Oh, another calendar.
Y'all come on through with the. We gonna be flying 2025. Vox Machina. That right there, Vox Machina is a great anime. I love that anime.
Dawn, thank you for all of this. This really is like, it really. This is like a personal care package for me. Okay, because yes, I think I put the calendars on there, and I think I put the candle on there. So whenever I'm burning the candle in the bathroom, the calendar fall into it and burn up the whole apartment.
Karen, I forgot to blow it out.
Karen will have you to thank. Appreciate you. And I'm not worried about these gift receipts because none of this is going back. Thank you, everybody.
Oh, what about
Karen? What about it?
What about the other one that got sent with the butters?
Oh, I did mention this on a Karen Hunter show, and this person heard me on a Karen Hunter show, called in, and his name is Chef Quaz, and he said he was going to send me a package, and he did send me a package. And it's like, a matter of fact, I'm gonna go get it, Karen. Since you made me talk about this, stall for a minute.
I got you. Roger is the cook. He the chef. I can cook. But over the years, what I've been realizing is, like, Roger is literally a hell of a cook. He has really honed his skills. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, y'all. I am jealous of his rice because I'm too impatient for rice. Because you got to sit there and glaze at it and stare at it and shit. Like, I got other things that I could be doing than putting this rice on low and letting it boil for 25 minutes. So he is the cook of the house.
All right, I'm back. So he sent like a care package. Chef Quaz is his name, and one of it is pesto butter. Quaz Can Cook is his business, and it's with a K KWAZKAN Cook, COOK. So Quaz Can Cook. He gave me pesto butter, great on vegetables, pasta, and much more. And he also gave me Caribbean jerk butter, great on fish, vegetables, steak, seafood, and more. Now, I just got put on to this like butter situation because I went to Harris Teeter and I was getting something from the meat department, and I saw steak butter on sale for $2. I was like, what's steak butter? And he was like, so I said, do you like, what do you just cook with it?
Yeah,
He said,
what is it?
you basically make the steak,
Mm-hmm.
then you take the butter, put it on top of the steak for the last little bit so the butter melts down into the meat. And
Oh, is that the thing where they take the spoon and kind of pour it back over the meat?
sometimes,
Okay.
but this you can put just like a lump on it on the meat. And what I did was I took our pork chops the other day, put them in the oven with the steak butter on top just to see how it turned out. And it was great.
It was so good.
It was
Oh,
good.
that's what you're doing in pork chops. Yes, sir.
So that was my test run with that butter because I had this butter. So I'm gonna mess with some other foods around here and see what I can experiment with this jerk butter and pesto butter. So thank you. And he also gave us Quaz Can Cook all-purpose seasoning. Okay,
That's good. I put them some of the because I put them in my eggs and they was absolutely delicious.
I'm gonna tell you right now, it smells amazing. But I'm gonna run out because I already used it on some wings. No MSG is gluten-free. I already done used it on some wings. I used like Karen used it on her eggs.
Oh, it was
this
delicious.
motherfucker right here ain't gonna last long. Because I'm gonna use it. I'm just gonna let you know. So Quaz, if you're out there listening, thank you very much. All right, y'all, that's it. We'll be back. Tomorrow's guest will actually be Morgan P. Campbell.
Come on.
Long-time friend of the show.
I'm so excited. He got a book and I listened to it through audio. I cannot wait to talk to him.
Yep. So we'll talk to you guys then. Until next time, I love you.
I love you too.